On the eve of Game 7, we heard from the Raptors everything you'd expect, Michael. This is what you dream of. This is what you play for. But Kyle Lowry also added he doesn't believe this Raptors group will get caught up in the moment of Game 7. You've been around this team all season. What's in that mental makeup that makes him say that?
I look at Game 1, and you had a guy like DeMar DeRozan, first playoff game at home, crazy crowd, and let's face it, he did not play very well.
Right.
You thought that would portend something for the rest of the series. Wrong. He adjusted, came out. He's been fantastic in the 5 games since. Kyle Lowry, throughout this year, has always consistently risen to the occasion. Very, very competitive guy. When he says he lives for these moments, I absolutely do believe he lives for these moments. And that's your engine. Jonas Valanciunas, as a second-year player, I think has been exceptional in stretches. So I think those kinds of signs, this is not a team that gets intimidated. In fact, they rise to the occasion. I would think that I would bet on that.
In Game 6, we saw Kyle Lowry get shut down, in large part because of double teams and traps. It was a soft trap, mind you, but on Saturday at practice, what they worked on was making the right read, the right pass, the quick read, and the quick pass. On that high pick and roll, what kind of adjustment do the Raptors want to make in Game 7?
Well, I think you might see an adjustment as to who they're going to make that quick read and who's going to be receiving that quick pass.
Okay.
I think Amir Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas, right now what you're seeing from the Nets is they're not covering those guys. And so when they push the ball way up high, there should be an advantage because all that space beneath the pick and roll if you can get the ball past there. But I think you'll see more Patrick Patterson because when he sets the screen and flares out, he's a more dangerous three-point shooter, and that gives Kyle Lowry or whoever is handling the ball an instant option. I also think you'll see more lineups with Kyle Lowry and Gravis Vasquez, 2 ball handlers, and that gives, when the ball is spit out of the double team, someone there who can make a decision.
Perhaps the leash won't be short just on Terrence Ross. Perhaps Amir Johnson will be on the bench even longer in that Game 7. Speaking of these deciding games, this has been such an intriguing 2 weeks. It's been a basketball renaissance in the city. The Raptors have been front page news coast to coast. What would a victory at home do for this franchise and to cement themselves in the sports landscape in Canada?
Well, the chance to play the Miami Heat is one, but I think even more significantly, you're talking about the opportunity to be remembered for a very, very long time. Kyle Lowry remembers being 15 years old, watching the Raptors play their last Game 7 on the road when he was a Philadelphia 76ers fan. Those moments do not get forgotten. DeMar DeRozan remembers being a young kid watching the Lakers come back from 16 in Game 7 at the first of their three-peat against the Portland Trailblazers way back when. So each of these guys is looking for an opportunity, has an opportunity to create a moment like that where they're the star of it.
And Chuck Hayes, who's been a veteran of 2 Game 7s, said, you may play well, you may play poorly, but in the end, Game 7s is how you'll be remembered. How do you want to be remembered?